Good morning, Klinger. Welcome to KTV. I'm Ezra.
And I'm Abby. Today is Thursday, November 16th, 2023. It is National Button Day. It is a day too.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the Klinger Equity Pledge. I pledge to treat everyone as they would like to be treated. I will be accepting of all people and show them kindness and respect. I pledge to learn other stories and develop an appreciation for their uniqueness. I am an amazing individual and will treat myself with kindness and positivity. Thank you. You may be seated.
Attention pretzel lovers and Swifties. Tomorrow the Klinger Corner will be selling pretzels for $1. Also, Taylor Swift stickers for $1 and get a chance to win the Eras Tour wall hanging. All happening tomorrow at the Klinger Corner.
If you signed up for Ski and Snowboard Club, there will be an informational meeting on Thursday towards the end of the school day. Please listen for the announcement to report to the cafeteria after the meeting. You will take your normal form of transportation home. Any questions? Email Ms. Presenda or see him in room 350.
Picture retake day is today, Thursday, November 16th. Students will be called down by grade for retakes.
Auditions for The Little Mermaid continue this week. Today, Thursday, November 16th, are the Mer Sisters, Jetsam, Flotsam, Prince Eric, King Triton, and Grimsby tryouts. If you have any questions, please see Mrs. Corger, Mrs. Henry, or Mrs. Scott.
Now to Jack with today's sports news.
Thank you. Still no sports news to report today, so here's another joke. Which side of the turkey has the most feathers? The outside.
Turkeys!
That was today's sports news. Now back to you.
Thank you. Here's Gianna with today's lunch report.
Thank you. Today we'll be having turkey dinner meal or crispy chicken patty sandwich. Tomorrow we'll be having buffalo chicken or cheese pizza slice or buffalo chicken meatballs with cheddar cheese on a 6-inch roll. That's today's lunch report. Now back to you.
Thank you. Now to Carissa with today's Klinger birthdays.
Happy Klinger birthday to no one today, so we have another joke. Another Thanksgiving joke. Why was the turkey soup so expensive? Because it had 24 carrots.
Oh my god. Hysterical.
That's today's birthday.
I need to gobble more of those jokes up.
That was today's birthday, so back to you.
Now stay tuned for another edition of Reader's Theater with a very special guest. And now for the whole KTV News crew, I'm Abby.
And I'm Ezra. Thank you for watching.
Have a great day.
Good morning, I am Mrs. Sakura, and today I will be reading the part of Isabel on page 116. We are at the Straits of Florida, somewhere north of Cuba. It is 1994, and we are one day from home. The tanker emerged from the darkness like some giant leviathan come to swallow them. It stood at least 7 stories tall out of the water and was so wide it filled the horizon. Its pointed bow sent huge waves sluicing away, and 2 massive anchors stood out from the sides like the horns on a monster. Isabel quailed in fear. It was straight out of a nightmare. "A ship!" Lido yelled. "We've drifted into the shipping lanes." By now, everyone had seen it. The rumble of the ship's massive engines had awakened Mommy and Senora Castillo, and everyone was scrambling around in the boat in a panic, making it rock dangerously. "It's coming right for us," Amara screamed. Isabel climbed over Ivan, trying to get as far away from the tanker as she could. She slipped and fell with a splash into the bottom of the boat. "Everybody settle down," Senora Castillo cried, but no one was listening. "We have to get the engine started," Poppy cried. He yanked frantically on the starter chain, barely giving the engine time to cough and die before he yanked on it again. "Don't, you'll flood it and it'll never start," Luis said, trying to wrestle the chain from him. "Where are the matches?" Lido cried. "We have to start a fire. They can't see us in the dark." "Here, Ivan," said Ivan. He lifted a matchbox from the styrofoam carton that held the few emergency supplies that they brought. "No," Papi yelled. He lunged for Ivan's outstretched hand, and together they fell against the side of the boat, tipping it. Isabel's mother fell into the pool of water on the bottom and slid into the side of the boat with a thump. Isabel crawled to help her. Lido grabbed Papi by the shirt. "What are you doing?" he demanded. Papi held the matchbox out of Lido's reach. "We don't want to be seen, you old fool," he yelled over the growling thunder of the tanker. "If they see us, they'll have to rescue us. It's maritime law, and if they rescue us, they'll send us back to Cuba." "Would you rather they send us to the ocean floor?" Lido yelled. Isabel couldn't help looking up as she pulled her mother out of the water. "It's getting closer," Isabel cried. The tanker was still hundreds of meters away, but it was so huge it felt like it was on top of them. They were never getting out of its way. Isabel's heart thumped so hard she thought it was going to burst right out of her chest. "If we don't want them to know we're here, maybe we shouldn't start the engine," Amara yelled. "They'll never hear us no matter what we do," Senor Castillo said. The tanker was so loud now it sounded like a jet engine. He and Luis flipped a switch on their own engine and yanked the starter chain again. A puff of gray smoke poofed out from the engine, but it didn't catch. The tanker loomed larger, closer. Isabel cringed. It was going to hit them. Luis yanked on the chain. A cough, a sputter, nothing. Cough, sputter, nothing. Cough, sputter, nothing. The sea swelled in front of the tanker, pushing them higher and away, and for a fleeting moment Isabel's hopes rose with it. But then the swell passed, and they were pulled back by the tanker's massive draw. Their little blue boat spun sideways, and they loomed toward the big ship's prow. The tanker was going to tear them in half right down the middle. Isabel looked up into the terrified eyes of Ivan as he realized the same thing, and they screamed. Then suddenly they were both thrown to the bottom of the boat, and something buzzed like a mosquito underneath the howl of the tanker. Luis had gotten the engine to start. Their little boat shot forward in the water, darting out of the way of the tanker's prow. But the waves, thrown off by the big ship, lifted up the back end of Isabel's boat and dumped an ocean of seawater on top of them. Isabel swallowed a mouthful of salty water and tumbled across the boat. She slammed into something hard and her shoulder exploded with pain. She came up spluttering. She was hip deep in water and the engine had stopped again, but none of that mattered right now. Ivan's father had fallen overboard. Isabel saw his white-haired head rise up out of the water. Senor Castillo gulped for air and then disappeared. A wave from the massive tanker's wake rolled over him. "Senor Castillo!" Isabel cried. "Papa!" Ivan shouted. "Where is he? Do you see him?" Isabel and Ivan frantically searched the dark water, watching for Senor Castillo to surface again. They had missed the huge ship's prow by mere meters, but the waves the behemoth created as it passed were just as dangerous. The ocean heaved and sank, the little boat tipping over sideways as the waves caught it amidships. Everyone was just getting back up from the floor of the boat when they were sent tumbling again. Ivan rolled to the other side of the boat, but Isabel hung on. There, she saw Senor Castillo's head pop up from under the water, but only for a gasping second, too quick to get enough air. In a flash, Isabel remembered her grandmother disappearing under the waves just like that 2 years ago, and without another thought, Isabel dove in after Senor Castillo.
And now for the whole KTV news crew. I'm Ezra.
And I'm Abby. Thank you for watching.
Have a turkey-licious day.